I definitely do. I don't know if all coaches do, but I even had it the other day. First time playing in the Steg. Um, I got home and felt worn out. Because we were just excited to play another team and to play in front of our people. So it'll probably go to another level. With the official opener. And probably have some more people in there, and obviously it means a little bit more. This one counts.
As a coach, are you always ready to play the first, or you wish there's always work to be done, and kind of have that kind of dynamic?
Yeah, both. Yeah, probably fluctuates 10 times during the day, right? And probably during the practice too. That we'll start here in a little while, but I think we're prepared in some areas, and I'm excited to start the next chapter of the journey with this team. We got a great group of guys. We've also got some stuff we got to get better at, but we'll continue to focus on growing throughout the season. Obviously, you want to win it as many as you can, but at the end of the day, we got to continue to get better too throughout this season, game to game, practice to practice.
Think about team stamina right now with so much, the offense going a lot faster, pressing
Yeah.
as much as
Yeah.
you do. How you feel about stamina?
I think that's one of our positives right now. I like the condition that our guys are in. We've worked really hard. Colin Crane, our strength and conditioning coach, does a terrific job. I don't know that there's one guy in the team that I think is far away from game shape. Justin Abson and Santos Surreal, starting with our bigs probably, have done a good job getting in the best shape of their lives. And our guards just pressing and running against each other every day have gotten in really good shape.
Any big takeaways days removed from that exhibition, things you learned going back and watching the film?
Attention to detail offensively. We're playing out of a bunch of concepts, and we're trying to play really fast. But there are times where we've got to slow down a little bit mentally and execute what we're trying to execute a little bit better. Troy did a good job of keeping us off balance with some zone press and some man press and jamming us really in their off of misses in their base man, and they're a really good defensive program. So they showed us some. They exposed us a little bit in a couple of those areas offensively, and then on the defensive glass, we've just got to get better. We've got to get more physical. We've got to find some guys that can raise their level of accountability and block out more consistently. We've got to embrace the fact that we've got to do a better job there, or those 14 or 15 that we gave up against Troy will be 23 in an SEC game.
Is that kind of a trade-off, though? You got a backcourt and you got more players who are quote unquote a little bit smaller than what you had last year with a protected rim, defensive rebounding, but you got a team that's able to go a little bit faster.
I think it's a little bit overrated. I really do, because I think we've got speed guys that can get the long rebounds, and then the fight that takes place 15 feet from the rim, doesn't a lot of times has nothing to do with how tall you are, right? We just got to be more physical from Smurf to Jackson McVeigh, from our smallest guy to our biggest guy.
How much of the learning curve is it for you, just as a coach, trying to go from what you guys played last year to the faster style? I mean, obviously every team presents different types of players, so just kind of seeing, how it plays out in the game. What's your adjustment as a coach trying to, figure out what your team can and cannot do in that situation?
It's part of what we need to do, as coaches, what we do for a living, and but it's also just the passion of the game. It's exciting too to figure out what you've got and how to best utilize your roster and put these guys in positions to have success. I've got some experience with it, although it's been a little while. There were a couple teams at Florida where we played a little faster, and we played really fast at Louisiana Tech. So this team, the way we're attempting to play right now, is probably most similar to the last 3 years at Louisiana Tech. With the pressing and the running and trying to play up tempo and score in the first 8. And our ability to stretch it from multiple spots. We've got a bunch of different guys. Obviously, we hope we shoot a really good percentage, but we've got a bunch of capable shot makers too.
Like the NCAA is going to allow pro sports betting for players and coaches. Have you talked to the team about that? What do you think of that change?
We're going to address the team this week. In fact, we've got a meeting on Thursday where you've got to be obviously very, very careful with all of those things. So we'll educate our guys. We'll allow our administration to educate our guys to the best of their abilities. So we're keeping guys eligible, but also we're being lawful.
You going to put a bet on an NFL game or something?
No.
Justin, Justin was talking about getting everyone to buy in when having so many new players. How do you instill that?
Buy in with players. Start the drill over. Show film that we're going to show here in a little bit. One thing comes to mind is we all know it, but spacing. We want to utilize those corners, right? Just like every team in college basketball it utilizes and preaches to their guys, and every team in the NBA. And sometimes we creep out of those corners and we're begging for the ball and we're chasing the ball a little bit. So that buy-in to that, to that little teaching point, buying into blocking out, as we talked about earlier, to tracing the basketball, to communicating switches. There's so many things that we can get better at, but it's exciting because you've got really good pieces to work with, and we've got talent, and we've got really good guys that'll listen. But that the buy-in's got to be big, as Justin talked about, for us to get better at those things. And the more buy-in you have, the quicker that you can improve.
Got time for one more?
What do you know at this point about Bellarmine? Just what you're expecting to see?
Nothing. I know they have a new coach. I know they've got a proud program. From everything I've heard in the past, they're very difficult to play against. I've seen a couple past teams on TV play against teams in our league, and we've got Coach Blake on our staff who's in that league, got a lot of respect for their program. And by the end of this week, we'll dive into as much film as we can get our hands on. But we're a new team. These 3 days give us an opportunity to really focus on ourselves today, and the next two, a day off to start turning our attention to Bellarmine and really locking in over the weekend. Hopefully we can play well on Monday.